Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. It's that time. It's that time, people. We've been waiting for it all summer, and it's finally here. And before I start this show, and you know it's For No Reason Fantasy Football by Jerry Taylor, I am JT, aka the Master, and I'm here. I'm ready and willing to give you the information to help you get toward that ultimate goal. First, number one, to have a good season and wish your players health. And two, to get you to the playoffs. You can't get to the championship unless you get into the playoffs. And three, to get you to the championship. I want to get you to the championship. I don't care what league, whose league, whatever. I want to get you to the championship. That's my ultimate goal. That is my ultimate goal. And people, this is fantasy football first week out the box. And if you had players in Thursday night's game, we're not going to talk about them. Not going to talk about them all. I shouldn't say that. I'll say briefly, some of you were disappointed. Some were happy. And it is what it is. Things happen. Thursday night football is a different animal than Sunday night or Monday night. Okay? And I just want to wish everybody good luck and good health on their players. Hope you drafted well. Hope you took some of my advice. You don't have to take all of it. That's fine. Bits and pieces. Check out something, bits and pieces. That's fine. Whatever fits that your philosophy, or whatever fits that you feel that you like and dislike, that's fine. I want you to be able to get to the playoffs. I want you to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor for your draft and onto the season through the waiver wires or put in the right people at the right time or doing trades, whatever. I want you to be able to be comfortable and be happy with your lineup each and every week. And hopefully I can get you there in fantasy football. Week one. Oh man, this is week one. I'm psyched up. And before I even go any further, I have an older sister. Okay? And this is her born day. And I want to wish her a happy birthday. I want to wish her a happy birthday to my older sister, Victoria. I want to wish her a happy birthday. May she have many more and enjoy the one she has today. Okay? So let's move on, people. Let's move on. All right? I got that out of the way. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that it was a special day in the family for my older sister. And we'll go from there. All right. I'm going to start from A and go all the way down to W. That means from the Arizona Cardinals to the Washington Commanders. And look at inactives. Quite naturally, we know that Kyler Murray is not going to play. Marquise Brown and Zach Ertz are questionable after limited workout all week. Let's go to the that's the 1 o'clock game. Terry McLaurin is supposed to play. Practiced fully the last 2 days and will play. Jamison Crowder was activated to the 53-man roster. And Chase Young, their defensive lineman, will not play. They'll miss week one with a stinger. Okay, let's go to the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens, another 1 o'clock game. John Mechie has been ruled out. That's from the Texans. Mark Andrews. Now, it said here, this is an older one, but Mark Andrews is out. Odell Beckham will go with a full go Friday and carries no injury designation. But understand, I think Odell Beckham coming out of the gate is going to be on a pitch count. He may be on a pitch count. Okay. So if you're expecting a full workload for Odell Beckham Jr., buyer beware. Let me put it that way. I'll say beware of that. And he at the $15 million man, possibly $18 million. And they're right out of the gate, supposed to be fully healthy. Is he going to play the whole game? I think he's going to be on a pitch count. Okay. Let's go to another. Let's go to a 425 game. And Christian Watson, their supposedly number one receiver, has been ruled out. Romeo Doubs was limited Thursday and Friday, and is questionable. So we're not sure about Romeo Doubs, how much he may be on the pitch count. So even though, and let me put it this way, people, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat. There's two guys that can play a prominent role if the number one and number two wide receiver are not in the game. One's a rookie in Jalen Reed in Green Bay. The other is another rookie, but he's not a wide receiver. He's a tight end, and Luke Musgrave. Okay. Jordan Love, who I think is going to have a decent year. It's going to be thrown to those two guys. Maybe not exclusively, but what I'm saying is if Romeo Doubs is not in the game or is on a pitch count, it's Luke Musgrave and it's Jalen Reed. And a little sprinkle quite naturally along with their running back, Aaron Jones. Not so much Jamal Williams. Excuse me, A.J. Dillon, but more like Luke Musgrave and Jalen Reed. Who else they have to throw to? That's my point. All right. Let's go to another 425 game. We'll get to the other 1 o'clock games. But I'm going to go to here. Raiders don't have anybody. Jerry Jeudy was limited all week and will be questionable for week 1. More than likely, he's out. And before I go any further into another 4 o'clock game, let's bring in Mr. FSP to you and welcome him to the show. What's up, my man?
Nothing at all. Just waking up. Got to wipe the sleep out my eyes.
Okay. Okay. And let me finish this game off by the Philadelphia Eagles at the Patriots. The Patriots, Devontae Parker is dealing with a knee issue, and Ramondre Stevenson is dealing with an illness, and it's questionable and to open the season. Stevenson did not practice on Friday, and Parker was limited, but the running back is expected to play as he returns from the flu. And they also elevated running back Ty Montgomery to the 53-man roster. So from the practice squad. So how much is Ramondre going to play? That's the big question. How much is Ramondre going to play? These are key players, people. Key players that I've named so far. Maybe not Devontae Parker, but Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah. How much is he going to play? If they elevated a running back from the 53-man roster, that's a tell. That's a tell. Okay? That's a tell to me that be cautious. If you have faith in Ramondre Stevenson, God bless you, but be cautious. He may be limited week to week to play or whatever, coming back from the flu. Flu's nothing to be shaking your head at. Let's move on to Miami at L.A. Chargers. Devin Achane, who Mr. FFP likes a lot, practiced all week and is good to go. Jalen Waddle was limited Wednesday, but was a full go the rest of the week and will play. Let's move on. Now, these are not written in stone, people. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because an hour and a half before game time is when the inactives come in. So you got to check that. Because things can change quickly. Somebody who thought you're going to be in could hurt themselves in warm-up, and they're inactive. Hey, things happen. You got to stay on top of it up until game time to make sure that these players that you've put into your lineup are going to be there. Cooper Kupp is out. He's on injury reserve. Will miss the next 4 games at least. Okay. That's LA and Seahawks. Jackson Smith and Njigma made a speedy recovery from a wrist surgery and is good to go. Okay. Now, we saw on Thursday that a lot of people who had a highly touted rookie thought he was going to get a big play. He didn't. Okay. But the team cautioned the media and anyone who was listening that he was not going to get a full workload. He was going to be transitioning and see how the rookie performs. The reason why I'm saying that, this is a wide receiver with a wrist injury. You think they're going to play him up, give him a full workload, put him in there as if he's been playing for the last 3 weeks? No. He's limited. He's going to be limited. He's going to have some type of pitch count. I don't think that, even though he had wrist surgery, and what do wide receivers need, including their hands, to catch the football? The wrist, which is quite naturally tied to the hand. So if you got an issue with wrist, even though he made a speedy recovery, so-called speedy recovery, okay, you think they're going to put their prize rookie wide receiver on the field with a full workload? I don't think so. So buyer, like I said, buyer beware. Let's go to and I'm going out of sorts here, but that's fine. Sunday Night Football. Darren Waller upgraded to limited work Friday and is questionable, but he is expected to play. Okay. We'll see. I thought that the possibility that he may not play, but it is what it is. Okay. I have reservations, and I'm not saying that because Mr. FSP has Darren Waller. That I could care less.
Well, we know how I got him.
Yeah, well, that's fine. And you have him. That's the bottom line. But any player, and I said that I believe this. Let me put it this way: any player that is coming off an injury or he's limited on the last really day of work on Friday, and it's questionable, but it's expected to play. I say this again: buyer beware. Buyer beware. He got a hamstring, man. I've had a hamstring. I know Mr. FSP more than likely has had a hamstring injury and know how fragile they can be. So be cautious. You got a viable backup. You got to make a decision because it's Dallas and the New York Giants are at 8:20, a night game. The only other game is the Monday night game. And you got to be smart about what you do about that. Monday night game, Bills and Buffalo. Brees Hall has been limited in practice Thursday and Friday before returning Saturday to a full workload. He's officially questionable, but expected to play. Yeah, okay. He's expected to play. But how much? How much? You got Dalvin Cook there, an all-pro running back that you picked up with a high salary ticket. You think if you want to go on a precede on a caution because of Brees Hall is your prize young running back who's coming off an ACL? Coming off an ACL, people. If you listen to me over the last few years, running backs coming off ACL. Okay, you don't give them a full workload. You limit them and hope that with the limit, they don't re-injure themselves, because with an ACL, you can a hamstring, a quad, a calf. Usually happens when that running back comes back. Something happens other than what the ACL did. Understand that. So buyer beware. I stay away from any running back, any running back that has an ACL, usually, and it's been proven out percentage wise that look at Saquon Barkley. He had an ACL, didn't do too well coming back. Everybody thought he would because of Saquon Barkley. I knew better. Don't do it. There's only two people, and one really that stood out that came back from the ACL the following year and balled out. That was Adrian Peterson, and the other one was Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson did not really ball out, but he was a decent running back. AP wasn't.
It was Jamal Charles.
I'm sorry.
Same year.
You're right.
Same
You're right.
year.
Jamal Charles. I'm sorry. Jamal Charles. You're right. I apologize for the mistake. Yeah, you're right. But it don't happen that often. You got two guys in what? 20 years at least? Come on. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Starting left tackle Dwayne Brown has a shoulder, and Mekhi Becton has a knee and illness. Both are questionable, but each fully practiced Saturday are expected to play. Okay. Aaron Rodgers better hope they do play. I'm telling you, you got a left tackle that's dealing with a shoulder and a right tackle that's dealing with a knee and an illness. You better hope that both those guys can play, Aaron. Please. I know you went to bed last night praying that these guys can play. Because the fact is, you need them. There's no way about it. Buffalo's going to be coming after you. After all the hype and Hard Knocks in the last month or so, they're going to be coming after you for the simple reason to get rid of all this Jet hype, and it's a division rival. Okay, so you got to wait and see what happens in that game. All right, now I want to get to the games that count now. They count. These games count. Mr. FSP, these games count. I'm going to ask you this question. How psyched up are you for the new 2023 NFL season and fantasy season?
I was very hyped Thursday when the first game happened. Its first full Sunday of games in the NFL. I'll be honest with you, not as hyped because college football has been very, very good the past couple weeks. I don't think the NFL is going to live up to what I've seen over the past few weeks of college football. Now, with that being said, there are some very good games this week that pique my curiosity and I want to see. And I'm gonna give you a shout out to Green Stream TV for their ability for me to watch all four games at one time that I want to watch at the in my case 10 a.m. Time slot. But to be honest, I'm not that excited for the NFL. Fantasy football, always excited.
Okay. Well, let's run down these games. Okay, run down these games. Discounting Detroit game, I already talked about briefly. It is what it is. What happened? Everybody knows what happened, and we go from there. First game,
MVP Kadarius Toney.
No. You can't call him Kadarius. You have to call him Hands Tony. Hands Tony. That's what I'm calling him. Hands Tony. Come on, man. That's the
Butterfingers.
I'll say this. That's the worst performance I've seen from a wide receiver in a regular season. That's the worst performance I've ever seen in a wide receiver in a regular season. And he got cut from the Cleveland Browns, but another wide receiver that was horrible couldn't hold on to the ball when he did catch it, is Anthony Schwartz. Got a lot of speed. You talked about this before a while back. Got a lot of speed. Speed demon, can't catch to save his life. Can't catch to save his life. And I don't know if he has latched on, or I don't even know if he's on a practice squad with the Cleveland Browns. If he latched on to another team. Because his hands are horrible. I don't know. His hands are horrible. He's got a lot of speed, but that doesn't do any good if you can't catch it. All right, let's move on. Let's move to the first game. And I'm going to reveal something to you, Mr. FSP, okay, that you've been clamoring for all day yesterday.
Oh, who you going to pick at number 3, but you claim you auto-picked Jamar Chase at number 3?
I don't know how I did it, but I did. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons.
You were going to get Robinson?
I was going to surprise everybody.
Whoa.
BJ Robinson was my pick at number 3. I was going to jump all over him. Oh,
dude,
absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Stop the presses. I know this is your show.
Yep.
I know this is your show.
Yep.
You made that big of a switch from your final fantasy first round rankings.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
Why? And I know you're about to talk about the game, but
yes,
why?
Yep. That's the guy I wanted in the worst way. And every I had 3 drafts. 3 drafts? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I only on 3 teams. I had the 3rd pick in this league. I had the 5th pick in my nephew's league, and in my family league, I had the 10th pick because I had won the league last year. So whoever wins the league the prior year gets the last pick in the present year. So I didn't get him in the my family league. Quite naturally, I didn't get him in the neighborhood league. At the 5th pick, I went to Bijan Robinson. Absolutely. In my nephew's league. Absolutely. Yep.
But neighborhood at pick number 3, you want a Bijan Robinson.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That would have gotten one hell of a response from me.
I know.
To be honest.
I know.
Again, I ain't gonna lie to you, Jerry. This is why I can't take your rankings too seriously when you do that, because you change up during the draft, man. You be throwing a brother for a loop, but that's okay. That's okay. But you got your listeners listening to you, and I'm trying to figure out what's theory and what's real.
Well, let me put it this way: the more and more I thought about it, I'm a running back guy, man. You know that I'm a running back guy. I have a hard time taking a wide receiver in the first round, regardless of where I was going to take a running back. Regardless of where I was in the first round, a running back was coming to me to lay that foundation. Nope. Then I was going whatever had to go from there.
Had you made the trade with me down to the 6th pick, you would have had Bijan.
No, nope. Let me put it this way.
Yeah, you would have. He fell.
Look, if it was the 1st pick, the 3rd pick, or any pick other than like number 9 or 10, I'm going Bijan. I was going Bijan. There was no 2 ways about it.
That's what I'm saying. That if you would have traded your 1st overall for my 1st overall, you could have got him at number 6, and you wouldn't have had a auto pick issue because he was there. Other than it would have been him or Tyreek.
Well, let me put it this way. I didn't want to take that chance because hey, look, every draft is different. Everybody has a different opinion of players and where they want to pick players. Bijan Robinson was really, really getting hyped before most people's draft. Really getting hyped before most people's draft. So I didn't want that to influence anybody in our draft to jump up and take Bijan Robinson from me. So I wanted to take him at number 3 and then go from there. Let me put it this way. I wanted a combination of Robinson and Gibbs. That's what I wanted. Robinson and Gibbs.
Well, I knew you wanted Gibbs. But let's
Yeah.
talk about this Atlanta Falcon game.
Oh, let me put it this way. They have one of the easiest schedules in the league. They have one of the easiest schedules in the league, especially for running backs. I'm loving B.J. Robinson going against this Carolina defense. Playing at home opener, I do not expect a huge timeshare. I do not expect
Neither do I.
a limited workload. I think Arthur Smith said that, well, look, they put him at the number 3 running back. Come on, man. Everybody in God's name, in God's country, knows that he's not on the depth chart at Atlanta, the number 3 running back. Come on. You don't draft a player at the 8th pick and play and consider him the number 3 running back, especially when he hasn't done anything to warrant that. Okay, so you play B.J. Robinson with confidence. I think Desmond Ritter's going to fool a couple people here. I think he's going to target 2 people besides Bijan. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Best friend of a young running back and a conservative run offense is a tight end. And both these guys have comparable size. Drake London, I do believe, is 6'4". Kyle Pitts is 6'6". So you got tall targets with big, wide catch radius. I love those 3 options on the Atlanta Falcons. On the other side, I'm not a big fan. I know that they went out and got Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders was running behind one of the best lines in the NFL, if not the best, in the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not the case in Carolina with a young quarterback who's going to have the box stacked against the running back, looking for the quarterback to beat them. That ain't happening. I'm not a big fan of Miles Sanders. And anybody else? These are, I wouldn't say has-beens. Well, maybe has-beens and never was. Adam Thielen, don't think too much of him. Jonathan Mingo, young rookie quarterback, along with young rookie wide receiver, along with a young rookie quarterback. Do they have a hookup? How much of a hookup they're going to have against this Atlanta defense? Talk to me, Mr. FSP. What's your thoughts on that? I don't care about who's winning.
No, I get it. And you're saying things that I would say. Only person you did not mention, which I think is going to have a huge impact, is Hayden Hurst. He's a chain mover. Might not be the standout player, but he is a chain mover. I like him to be the best friend of Mr. Young outside of Miles Sanders. Again, I've said it all summer. I stay consistent. Not going to change up. Atlanta is the best team, I believe, on paper, all around in the South. And Bijan, not BJ, but Bijan Robinson, I agree with you. He's probably going to get the lion's share of the touches. Now, I also think with Cordell Patterson listed as questionable, but most likely going to play, you got a 3-headed monster that are over 6 feet at Pitts, London, and Patterson, that if you do a crack toss, you got to be really fast or really powerful to get around those 3 guys. And Bijan, once you get to him, he's not a small guy either.
No.
He
had one of the best broken tackle rates in college football.
Yeah. So I think, and with that offensive line built the way it is, as a run-first offensive line, this might not be a high-scoring game, but I see a lot of fantasy points happening at that position for Atlanta. And I agree with you as far as Atlanta having an easy schedule or easier schedule, which is going to open up things for Bajan. And a guy that I really contemplated this until we got stuck with not stuck, until I made it only a 2 quarterback league. I was going to keep Desmond Ritter.
Okay.
I really was.
Yep.
Because he has a lot of upside running the ball as well as throwing the ball. A lot of people don't realize he's a mobile quarterback. So,
yep.
I see a lot of fantasy goodness here, even though it's a, in my opinion, lopsided matchup.
Okay. Speaking of lopsided matchup, speaking of a team that the skill level doesn't even come close to their opponent, we're going to talk about the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, quite naturally, you play Lamar Jackson. I'm not a huge J.K. Dobbins fan. I know Houston was one of the worst run defenses in all of football and all of fantasy football. I'm not a fan of J.K. Dobbins. He's had issues health-wise up until this year. Okay, they may want to run the football, but they're going to also pass it a lot. All right, they're going to open up the offense. Okay, is Houston's Texans going to be better against the run because of their defensive-minded coach, or are they going to be allowed J.K. Dobbins, who I think is not what he used to be, running back, run wild? Okay, I'm not a fan of J.K. Dobbins. I let me put it this way: I think he gets 60, 70 yards running. So I know some people are predicting over 100 yards and a touchdown. I can see the touchdown, and that's probably going to save his fantasy. But I can't see that they're going to allow J.K. Dobbins, who's, like I said, has health issues, and I still believe he's got health issues as we speak, running wild against the Houston defense. Zay Flowers, I already talked to you about Odell Beckham being on a pitch count. I think he's going to be a pitch count. He's going to be limited coming out the gate. So what's that say? Rashad Bateman? I'm not a fan of Rashad Bateman at all. Not at all. That hasn't impressed me at all. Zay Flowers, a breath of fresh air for the Baltimore Ravens. A rookie? Okay. He's a rookie. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Look what the Jefferson did. Look what Chase did. That doesn't mean anything. And I'm not putting him into that category, but I'm saying he's a highly touted rookie wide receiver that had rave reviews in training camp and preseason. Let's see what he can do in real life, real action against a Houston Texans suspect defense. But like I said, with a defensive-minded coach who had a number one or top, let me put it this way, top 5 defense before he became a head coach as the defensive coordinator with the San Francisco 49ers. D'Amico Ryans, who I really loved when he was with the Houston Texans. He's a really good player. And he apparently had a really good mind because he's the head coach of a football team, NFL football team, who thought highly of him. They bring him back as the head coach. Let's see what they can do against this Baltimore offense, and how wide open this offense is. On the other side, Houston Texans, probably one of the least explosive teams in the NFL. They need a lot of work on offense. Nico Collins is supposedly their number 1 wide receiver. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State quarterback. Let's see what he can do. Highly touted number 2 pick. Let's see what he can do. Okay? Against a at-home Baltimore defense. Not liking C.J. Stroud in fantasy at all. I take a flyer. I would take a flyer on Nico Collins because who else they got? Just throw to. People are hyping Damian Pierce. Really? Okay. I one thing I caution people about is running backs on a bad team. Running backs on a bad team have a tendency. A bad team has a tendency when they get behind, quite naturally, to throw the football. Damian Pierce is a running back, and not too much of a pass catcher. Talk to me, Mr. FSP, about this game.
Um, a guy you didn't mention that I think is going to be a sleeper for folks to look at is Mr. Mechie. Coming back off of a sickle cell uh, issue, health issue a year ago, spoiled his rookie season. I think if he was there, um, what's Davis Mills probably would have had a better opportunity because from last year I saw a lot of drop passes. Not that he couldn't hit the target, it's just there was a lot of drop passes. And Mechie is one of those guys that has decent hands and speed. Um, in this game, like you said, Odell Beckham is questionable. So I think Odell Beckham and Mark Andrews isn't playing.
Yep.
He's out.
Yep.
I don't think you said that.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
No, it's your show. You can say what you want.
Yeah.
But with that being the case, Isaiah Likely is going to be a prime target unless they decide to go to the ground and pound because Zay Flowers is going to get a lot of those bubble screens. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to go and get the ball. And reports are that Lamar's been throwing the rock all around in practice against his defense. We got to remember that defense isn't that good on this.
No, I know.
The secondary.
Yep.
Right? They're strong at the linebacker position and okay at the defensive front, but the secondary isn't that good. So how good has he been? D'Amico Ryan's specialty is defense and getting pressure. And you got to remember, the leading tackler or second leading tackler in the NFL last year was a safety, Petrie, on the on the Houston Texans. The kid made a lot of tackles, was helping lead the team in sacks too. I'm quite sure he'll get his hands on a ball or two today. Now, what he does with it, I don't know. Bat it down or something, I don't know. But I'm looking at the totality of offense and defense. And don't be surprised if this becomes a kicking game. I know we both feel as though this is going to be a 10-point win by the Ravens, but that was before we knew Mark Andrews was out. That was before we knew we already knew Odell Beckham was questionable, but how questionable?
Yep.
So it's dependent on what your flavor is. But if I'm looking for diamonds in the rough, Michi or Mechie, I can't pronounce his last name properly, on that side for the Houston Texans, Isaiah Likely, who isn't really a diamond in the rough because he proved he could be the starting tight end last year.
Yep.
So I think that's what we're looking at for surprises and players that will give you what you want and what you need in this game.
Okay. All right, let's move on to now this game, people. I'm telling you, and I'm not being a homer, people.
Here we go.
I'm telling you right now, if you ever been at a July 4th celebration and you see fireworks, this is the game that you're going to see fireworks. This is a game you're going to see fireworks, people. I'm not discounting. People are discounting this Cleveland Browns offense. I'm telling you, they got weapons. They have weapons that can be used extensively. One of the best running backs in the league. One of the best route runners in the league. And
I like a homer to me.
What's that?
I say you sounded like a homer to me, man.
Well, Amari Cooper is one of the best route runners in the league. That's not undisputed. That is a fact. He's one of the best route runners in the league. He may not. He may. Let me put it this way, and I'll be quite honestly truthful. He may not show up every week, but he's one of the best route runners in the league. And if he's open, the quarterback's going to get him the ball. The quarterback will get him the ball. And don't discount their tight end, a very athletic tight end. This team has got at least 3 weapons, maybe more, that are going to be showcased against a high-powered offense in the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and even Joe Mixon. I'm telling you, this is fireworks. Fireworks. This is the 4th of July at 1 o'clock in Cleveland Brown Stadium. And there's no two ways about it. Those players I've named, you got to play them. They have huge upside. Huge upside in this game. And they're heated rivals. Are you kidding me? This is a must-see TV for people who like to watch rivalry football at its best. Talk to me, Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Tyler Boyd, I'm not sure if you said his name, but
No,
Irv Smith is also a guy you got to look out for. You made a good point yesterday on my show, Fantasy Sports and Politics, that Irv Smith is mainly a receiving tight end.
Yep.
And again, let's say, and you made this point yesterday as well, that Joe Burrow and Chase have bad games versus Denzel Washington.
Denzel
Ward. My bad. I think about the equalizer.
Okay.
Denzel Ward, right? So how do you get the ball out to T. Higgins and maybe Tyler Boyd? You make sure that you get the ball to Irv Smith early or establish the run early. And Irv Smith has his hand issues. I don't know. Hopefully they're fixed, but it got him out of Minnesota. But I look at that and say, yes, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I do. I look at what happened last year, game 1, Steelers and Bengals, how it wasn't supposed to be a slobber knocker fast, high scoring game, but it was. And then I look at Cleveland. Will there be dirt balls this year with Mr. I don't want to be disparaging. Yeah, I didn't want to be disparaging.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm the big boy.
Mr. Watson. I was going to say something else. But are you expecting dirt balls again? Now, you shouldn't, but I'll tell you this. In preseason, he threw several dirt balls that should have been at least chest high, which worries me because I'm like, there is no, it's been rusty, da-da-da-da-da. He played 6 regular games last year. He played in the preseason. He had all summer to work with these guys. Unless he's doing it on purpose, there isn't a reason for a dirt ball down the field. Amari Cooper is your guy that you're saying is one of the best route runners. Yeah, well, he runs like 4 routes, in my opinion. The guy that you said you didn't mention him here, but you said is the guy you need to look out for is Elijah Moore.
Absolutely.
But you didn't mention him in your part.
Right.
I'm not certain that he's going to be a huge factor in this, but when the Bengals let go of their 2 starting safeties, 2 of the 3 starting safeties, right? That signals that the number 2 receiver that's probably going to have one-on-one action should produce. And Elijah Moore should produce. But we'll see.
All right, let's move on to another game, the Jacksonville This is another division rivalry, another division game, but this is not going to have fireworks. That I wouldn't say this is must-see TV, unless you're an Anthony Richardson fan and you want to see how well he plays against his Jaguars defense. But this is a must see because uh, there's not too many options, fantasy options, viable fantasy options on the Indianapolis Colts. And Anthony Richardson is a very inexperienced quarterback who's starting his first game. I'll say it again, who's starting his first game in the NFL in this season, not sitting on the bench watching Gardner Minshew. Anyway, I can't play Anthony Richardson. Not quite yet. It's a wait and see. You got to show me. I'm from Missouri. You got to show me. Okay. Anthony Richardson, what you can do before I'll jump on that Richardson hype train. Deion Jackson. There is no Jonathan Taylor for at least 4 games. Deion Jackson is going to get the first opportunity to be the lead back. I liked him last year when he took over for Jonathan Taylor, but they added Zach Moss, who I'm not a big fan of. Zach Moss is the plotter. Deion Jackson is more in the frame of Jonathan Taylor. I'm not calling him Jonathan Taylor, but if you look at the metrics of Deion Jackson, he fits more closely to Jonathan Taylor than Zach Moss. I like Deion Jackson in this game as a flex. You use him in the flex. They're going to run the football. They're going to want to run the football. And Deion Jackson can run the football and catch it. But Anthony Richardson has not been known to throw that much to the running backs. So he rely more heavily on Deion Jackson being able to get his decent yardage running the football than catching it. You got Michael Pittman. He suffers from an inexperienced quarterback in Anthony Richardson. And to me, I know that there's Mo Alley Cox who is coming back. I can't honestly say I recommend him. I don't think so. We go on to the other side and Trevor Lawrence. Oh man. This is a very friendly schedule for the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. Very fantasy friendly schedule, including starting with the Indianapolis Colts, even though they're a division rival. You play Trevor Lawrence. I expect him to have a big game. Not too fond of this guy, but I think because of the opponent, he can take advantage of it, and that's Travis Etienne. With a sprinkle of Tank Bigsby. Don't be surprised how much Tank Bigsby plays in this game. Calvin Ridley, I'm loving. I'm absolutely loving this guy along with Christian Kirk. They're going to eat.
Of course.
They're going to eat. They're going, and I can't stress that enough. They're going to eat. Christian Kirk was Trevor Lawrence's favorite target. Calvin Ridley comes on to the scene. Now you got double trouble. You got double trouble. I think these guys are going to have a very good game. And quite naturally, and I'll say this, and I didn't say it in the beginning, but I'm going to say it again. Barring any injury, these guys should have a good game. Anybody I've mentioned, anybody Vic has mentioned, if there's no injury, these guys should be able to have decent games up until this point. Mr. FSP, Jags, Colts.
I'm looking at, your Anthony Richardson starting, but you just said Anthony Richardson is not to be trusted. I really wish it was Gardner Minshew. That would have told me that the Colts are trying to do something. But something I saw this morning before I jumped on the show is Miami has reignited trade talks with Indianapolis about Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
And what that means is this. Michael Pittman Jr. is not to be trusted. He's not, because of the quarterback situation and the lack thereof of a positive run game. Deion Jackson is a solid running back and is a guy that can get the ball out the backfield as well as run it. However, as you said, You're not sure if Richardson's going to be a check down guy. I think Richardson's going to be a run after the first one or two read guy,
Yep.
and uh, he hasn't proven to me that he's ready to view the field the way Minshew would view it, or any other quarterback that goes 1, 2, 3 run, or 1, 2, 3, 4 throw it away. I don't think he understands how to throw the ball away just yet, and he's going to give up on Pittman early. So I can't, and also I can't trust many of the defensive or the entire defense of the Colts, but I can trust a couple of linebackers on the Colts. Uh, and that's sad that I have to depend on an IDP to give me points for the Colts this year. But I transition over to Jacksonville. A lot of superlatives to say about them. Evan Ingram is actually the biggest target for Trevor Lawrence. He led them. Well, he was right behind Christian Kirk in targets, but up there with Christian Kirk with receptions. So I'm interested in seeing how the ball is displaced. Don't forget about Zay Jones. Uh, not a household name, but when Christian Kirk wasn't producing and Ingram wasn't producing, Zay Jones stepped up too. So not a guy you want to go out and get,
Right.
but a guy you can look out for and put a, hey, let me watch him type feel on.
Okay.
And yes, still Calvin Ridley. Good pick. Good pick.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on to Tampa Bay and Minnesota. And let me put it out there. Let me put it out there. Okay. And I should have said at the beginning of the show. And I'm looking at what I'm glad to see on TV.
Michael Irvin.
I'm glad. Come on, man. What can't you let me do? Can't you let me do that? Can't you let me do that? Oh God.
I mean, you did.
I'm telling you, man.
You were bad yesterday, so don't you dare give me this. But go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't. Never mind. Anyway, I'm glad to see Michael Irvin back on the NFL Network and back on TV. Okay. Wrongly accused. The settlement was the lawsuit was settled that he had against the hotel chain, and he's back where he belongs on TV. Now, some people don't like Michael Irvin. Okay, I understand that. Okay, but he's a very good personality on TV. Homer for the Cowboys, quite naturally, he should be. I can't disparage him for that. But he knows football, and he's a dynamic personality that deserves to be on TV. What's your thoughts, Mr. FSP?
Well, he's been on First Take for about 2 weeks now, or a week now, and not First Take. I'm sorry, Undisputed, because Skip Bayless now has a 4-person panel. If you didn't know,
Yeah, I
it's
know that.
Richard Sherman, Michael Irvin, and Keyshawn Johnson.
Oof.
And
Woo.
yeah, it's literally, the first show was literally a barbershop, a urban city barbershop.
Wow.
And Skip was just sitting there. And I'm like, well, when you get 3 of the biggest mouths and passionate folks,
Yep.
but Undisputed has become a cowboy lover show. Literally. Sherman is very good on there. Irv is good. He actually did a very good interview with Michael, not Michael, with Deion Sanders, Coach
Right.
Prime.
Right.
And it was really a good, it wasn't a I love you, bro, all this, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
He did say stuff like that, but the questions he asked were very to the point. And matter of fact, I too am very happy that he's on game day, because I didn't think he was going to be on there because of the false accusation that he had to prove. Thankfully, like Irv said, he's very thankful for the hotel security cameras to prove he did not do the things that he was accused of. And it was just somebody going after him and using his history of things that he's done in the past
Right.
to get him. And the NFL Network, in my opinion, jumped. Well, they did what was best in the interest of the NFL Network. They took him off air during the uh, uh, Super Bowl, and hey, let's get this over with. Let's get it investigated, and once you're clear, we'll think about bringing you back. And that was a problem. We'll think about bringing you back. It wasn't an automatic,
Right.
because he was wrongly accused. He does bring flavor to that program. He's one of the reasons why I watched this program as opposed to ESPN or Fox,
Right.
or even CBS, because his energy, he brings a lot of energy to the table, and he's like a regular guy.
Yep.
But the brother's working 6 days a week.
Yep.
He was yesterday. He was at University of Colorado's game.
Yep.
On the sideline, supporting Deion.
Him and Steve Smith
and Terrell Owens.
Yep.
And a lot. Listen, I know this isn't the show, but people are showing up and showing out. Some of these same people were there at Jackson State, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they followed Deion to Colorado, and people are going to start coming to Colorado as long as he's there. Oh, yeah. That AD is going to be secure in his job as long as Deion's there. Now, Deion and them are going to go, in my opinion, over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, over the next 5 games, they're going to go 3-2. So I see him winning at Colorado State, losing to Oregon, losing to USC, okay, and then beating Stanford. Okay. But I say this to say, you talk about Michael Irvin, right?
Yep.
He's got some boys not ready to go to college just yet and play. But guess who's at USC? You've got Jerry Rice's kid. At Stanford, Emmitt Smith's kid. And these guys aren't doing that well at their respective schools.
Oh.
As far as, beasting out.
Okay.
So if they transfer to Coach Prime, you're going to see Rice, Emmett, Irvin, and all those cats on that sideline.
Right.
Supporting that man and what they're doing. And that's the type of energy that Michael Irvin brings to the show and Deion brings to that school. So okay. I know I went a long way around, but
that's all right.
It's really important.
Yeah.
Really important because Prime is doing great when people wanted to hate. The young lady just won the U.S. Open.
Yep.
People wanted to hate.
Yep.
So let them hate. They tried to get rid of Michael Irvin. People want to hate. Let them try.
One of the things Coco Gauff said, thank you for all my disbelievers.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that same thing Irvin said too.
Yes. Thank you for all my disbelievers.
And just like Prime says,
yes,
we all coming.
Yes.
Not just we coming.
We
all coming.
Yep.
So, there you go.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Tampa Bay at the Minnesota Vikings. I know you're not too high on the Minnesota Vikings, but that's fine. That's fine. Everybody has their flavor, and Minnesota Vikings are not yours, which is fine. I'm liking the purple in this game. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, even Alexander Madison against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense and offense ain't what it used to be. No Tom Brady. And that defense is, in my opinion, is getting older in Tampa Bay. I like Kirk Cousins playing, especially in Minnesota. If it was on the road, I'd have second thoughts outside on the grass, but Kirk's playing at home, inside on the turf. Okay? I'm loving Kirk Cousins. Madison, Jefferson, and even Jordan Addison, Adam Thielen, all last year had over 100 and whatever targets. And he was slow and often injured and a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver. You got a rookie. Where are those targets going to go? Even though T.J. Hawkinson is a nice target for Kirk Cousins, I got to believe this more athletic and faster wide receiver than Adam Thielen ever was is going to get 100-plus targets, and he's going to be a force on that team. I would play Jordan Addison. Flex, wide receiver 3, absolutely. And he's got huge upside. Huge upside. On the other side, you got Baker Mayfield. I know this is a bad Minnesota defense. I understand that. But Baker Mayfield, come on.
Here we
Come
go.
on.
Fake hate.
No, hey, look. Everybody in the NFL who knows anything about the quarterback position know that Baker Mayfield ain't all that. I'm just reciting what I've seen with my own eyes and what I've heard and read with my own eyes. So it's nothing new, nothing hating. It's just a fact. It's a hurtful fact for you, Mr. FSP, but it's the fact. I like Rashad White. I think they can run against this and do a little bit passing against this Minnesota defense. So I like Rashad White. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, quite naturally, are main targets. And Cade Otton.
About time.
Desperate need. Baker Mayfield likes checking down to the tight end if he has to. And Cade Otton, if you're looking for close to double-digit points in the tight end position, that's a strong possibility. Five targets, 60, 40, 50 yards. That could be Cade Otton with the quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Mr. FSP, talk to me.
Okay, so just give you some names to throw out there. I mean, you didn't leave me much, but Ty Chandler, I look for him to have an impactful game for the Minnesota Vikings, who's the backup to Matson. The reason why is because they actually went out and got another back just before the season started to, I guess, spell or be the third down back for the team. Ty Chandler is a guy that's going to step in and take advantage of his opportunities, in my opinion. As far as Tampa Bay goes, you stole or you mentioned Cade Otton, who I was going to mention. Uh, Again, he's from the area I'm at right now. Last year, he did very well. Rookie year, he actually learned from that short period of time. He got to work with Tom Brady. He's going to have to make an adjustment for Baker Mayfield because Baker is not Tom whatsoever. So hopefully he'll throw him open as opposed to direct to him. The thing I think is best said about Tampa Bay in this game is they're going to go against a defense that's not ready to be transitioned to a 3-4. So to me, that means the running game. Rashawn White should do well in this game, running the ball for Tampa Bay, which will set up, the Mike Evans, the Chris Godwins, and the Cade Ottons. Not much more I can say in this game outside of I don't think it's going to be a difficult matchup. I think Todd Bowles is going to blitz the heck out of Kirk Cousins, and we'll see what happens in that game. But it's not much other than two players I was going to mention that you already stated.
Okay, let's talk about the Tennessee Titans at the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr, Jamal Williams, Chris Olave, even Michael Thomas and Juwan Johnson are good plays for the New Orleans Saints and for fantasy here. Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins are good plays for an option in fantasy football. Mr. FSP, I'm going to give you all the latitude, not all the latitude. I'm going to give you some latitude because I didn't mention everyone, but I did mention some key names. You may want to throw in some more. Talk to me about the Tennessee Titans at the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, Tajay Spears, the young exciting back with no ACLs.
Yeah,
But the guy can play, and he's gonna be that guy. Step in there and get some work. How much work I don't know for Tennessee. I don't know. But I do look for I can't pronounce his name, the tight end, Akakwana, for Tennessee to have somewhat of an impact to lighten the load off of Hopkins, because if they don't run the rock hard and use play action, Tannehill is going to sit back there and be a statue, and he's going to get knocked out of the game. And Malik Hooker is going to not Malik Hooker. Malik, what's Malik's last name? Oh my goodness, can't remember his last name.
Willis.
Yeah, thank you. Malik Willis is going to come in there, and we'll see what happens there. Treylon Burks, I'm not expecting much from him in this game, guy. I really am not. Tennessee is going to do what they can do, but you mentioned all the big players in New Orleans, and I'm not sure. Did they keep Jimmy Graham or not?
I think Jimmy Graham's still on the roster, but I can't see him being a big contributor.
No,
he's like 60 years old. Come on, man.
Jesus. but in the short yardage stuff, and the goal line stuff,
yes,
I see him, Juwan Johnson, and Michael Thomas being their basketball package, or whatever it is they want to call it.
I can see that.
Jump ball package.
Yep.
So that's why I mentioned him.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
I was gonna say, don't worry about Taysom Hill. They will do Wildcat, but not somebody to have on your radar just yet.
Okay. Let's move on to another game. This is a game, very important game. It's a money game. It's a money game, people. It's a money game.
We got a couple of bets.
Show me the money. Show me what's the other one?
Our Ravens and Lions game.
Ravens. What are we talking about? Ravens and Lions.
No, I said for me and you. I know you have a money game with Q. If this is the game you're about to talk about. Okay.
Yes. San Francisco at the 49ers. San Francisco favored by 2 points. The question for people is this: who would you rather have a quarterback going against these two defenses? Brock Purdy or Kenny Pickett? I think it's to me it's a no-brainer. I think I'd rather have Brock Purdy, who's a safer quarterback, than Kenny Pickett. So in that sense, I'm saying play Najee Harris, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. Buyer beware. Okay. You're going against a Bosa who signed his contract, is in that defense now. A more formidable defense than when he was not in the lineup. Kenny Pickett's going to have issues. Okay. I can't honestly say play Kenny Pickett. I can honestly say play Brock Purdy. I know you got TJ Watt on the other side, but I think more of the San Francisco defense than I do of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You pay McCaffrey, you got to play him. He's most people's number one pick, or within the top 4 or 5. You got to play George Kittle if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, you got to go somewhere else. Let me put it that way. If he can play, you got to play him. If he's in the lineup, you got to play him because you have no other choice. If you don't play him and he goes off, because Brock Purdy and Kittle do have a hookup, then you're going to regret it. So you got to play George Kittle if he's live. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk probably going to, I wouldn't say cancel each other out, but it's probably going to be the same amount in the do this about the same amount in the game. But you both are viable shots. Wide receiver 3 or flex, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Talk to me. I didn't include Pat Vermouth, but he's a favorite target of Kenny Pickett. But talk to me, Mr. FSP.
Yeah, I was going to, but there you go. There you go again. It's okay. You're such a thief, but it's all right. So in this game, just so everybody knows, the stakes are high between JT and Q. Uh, I think Q's going to be getting a fresh Benjamin, but we'll see. We shall see. In this game, um, I see Kenny Pickett being the more valuable quarterback than the two. I love Brock Purdy, don't get me wrong, but I think the chemistry is there for the three receivers: Deontay Johnson, uh, Robinson, and Pickens. Najee Harris, trust me, you're going to see Najee Harris get his man versus his 49ers defense. Greenlaw and Fred Warner are going to be busy. One's got to cover Frymouth, and the other's got to cover Najee Harris or try to get to Najee Harris. Which one it is, I don't know. I think you're missing one more player that you didn't account for. I expect Washington, the tight end, the big tight end from Georgia or Alabama, whichever school he was at. I expect him 6'6", 6'7", to be a huge target for Kenny Pickett in this game.
Okay.
All right. Sleeper.
Yeah, okay. Green Bay at Chicago. Okay. Justin Fields. Just from the sheer running ability. We don't know how much he's going to be effective in the passing game, but he was what? Was he 1,000-yard runner last year, if I'm not mistaken?
He was.
Yeah. So you can definitely count on him running the football. Maybe not as much. They say Khalil Herbert is the running back one on this team. Okay. I don't believe it. People, I've talked about this before. You've heard me before when I said about sleepers. Trust me when I'm saying this. This running back was one of the best in broken tackles. Even though he was a backup in college, he was better than Bijan Robinson in broken tackles. That's a fact. He averaged more yards than Bijan Robinson. That's a fact. Roschon Johnson, people. If you don't have him on your lineup, and if you have room on your lineup, grab him. I tell you right now, before the season's out, he's going to be their number one running back. 6 feet, 220 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, 215, something like that. Ideal, in my opinion, running back that can run and catch the football and is very good in pass block. You heard me talk about three tool running back. That's the third tool, being able to pass block, besides running and catching the football. Roschon Johnson. I like. There's not too many on this team though. Like other than Justin Fields and maybe Khalil Herbert in the first game. On the other side, I like Jordan Love. I know people have disparaging remarks or maybe don't think too much of him. Green Bay has had 3 quarterbacks in the last few decades. Decades, I'm talking about. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, now Jordan Love. Brett Favre was I said this yesterday on the FSP show. Brett Favre was a Hall of Fame quarterback that Green Bay got rid of, and he went to the Jets. Brett Favre's in the Hall of Fame. Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre. Played over a decade, almost close to 2 decades, for the Green Bay Packers. And Green Bay got rid of him. He went to the Jets. 2, 1 Hall of Fame. The other one, a soon to be Hall of Famer whenever he hangs it up. You think Green Bay knows how to pick quarterbacks and when to put them into use? I believe that philosophy, just like Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing season under Mike Tomlin. I believe Green Bay knows how to nurture their quarterbacks and bring them along when they need to be the starting quarterback. I like Jordan Love in this. A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, they're gonna run. They're gonna run the football. They're going to run the football. That's what they do. And Romeo Doubs is questionable, maybe on a pitch count because he may be limited due to his hamstring. How about Jalen Reed, people? Luke Musgrave. I talked about this earlier in the show when I opened it up. Jalen Reed, rookie wide receiver. Luke Musgrave, rookie tight end. Who does Jordan Love have to throw to other than a running back? Just think about that. If Romeo Doubs is limited, and the only other viable option would be Jalen Reed, a rookie wide receiver, or Luke Musgrave, a rookie tight end, I don't think too much of rookies at tight end position. But when push comes to shove, if you got to throw to somebody and it's a tight end, oh well. Talk to me, Mr. FSP.
So you completely forgot about Aaron Jones catching the ball out the backfield, A.J. Dillon running the rock, and possibly being a pass catcher. DJ Moore on the opposite side. Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool probably having somewhat of an impact. Cole Kmet definitely having an impact. Listen, you can hype up Jordan Love all you want. With the limited tools that he has, this is going to be a run first offense and run often offense. And he will be a check down king. I was just looking at the highlights of what he was doing. He's hitting a lot of people on short passes across the middle in the open zone. I don't think he's going to see a lot of zone. I think he's going to get blitzed heavily. And with Tremaine Edmonds, and I forgot the other linebacker for Chicago Bears, but they went out and got two solid linebackers. They're going to play games with them. They're going to come after him, and they're going to make him feel welcome to the NFL, even though this is his fourth year. But I expect a heavy dose of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in this game.
Okay.
A.J. Dillon I don't think A.J. Dillon was even drafted until like maybe 12th round in a lot of leagues, because he has not taken the job away from Aaron Jones. Now, Green Bay is out of the running for Jonathan Taylor, but the fact that they were willing to give up both A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones to get Jonathan Taylor, that should tell you something. That should tell you something. They desperately need a run game, and they want to pound the rock to protect Love. So I don't think there's a lot of fantasy goodness here other than Musgrave for him. But yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the Raiders and the Broncos. Can't trust Russ. I trust Jaleel McLaughlin. No, I don't trust. I trust Cortland Sutton, and I trust.
Mims, Gorsuch.
No, I don't. I can't. Dolchich, when Adam Trotman is the starting tight end, if I'm not mistaken. Only one I can trust until I see what's going on with the Denver Broncos is Cortland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy, if I'm not mistaken, is out.
No, he's questionable, likely to play.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, who did Sean Payton pick with the first pick they had? I think it was the second round or whatever. Marvin Mims. So I can trust Marvin Mims and I like Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Maybe Greg Dulcich. But Adam Trotman, if I'm not mistaken, is the starting tight end. You have to wait and see on that. On the other side, in Las Vegas, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams. You got to play them. I mean, who else you got? I I cannot trust. I refuse to trust Jimmy Garoppolo in his Josh McDaniel offense. Too much dysfunction on both teams to even trust any of these players. I mean, good luck trusting a running back who was touted by one of our league mates as a steal. Okay, good luck. ACL, PCL, LCL. That's what he had. Talking about Javonte Williams. Maybe next year, ain't this year, unless he's Adrian Peterson. Let me put it that way. And I don't think he's Adrian Peterson. I got to see it to believe it. Mr. FSP, talk to me.
So, just to do a little revisionist history here, Jerry and I picked in a Las Vegas league last year, and we literally got laughed at when I made the pick that Jerry wanted me to make at tight end, Austin Hooper. We literally got laughed at, guys, but they were right for that last year. But this year, I think it's going to be a little different. I think Jimmy G is going to hit Austin Hooper up quite a bit, as he's the starting tight end for the Raiders now. The rookie is the backup. So I look for him to have an impact in this game. Can the Broncos cover the tight end, a big tight end at that? Um, is his hands still what they should be? I don't know. But that's a pick or a sleeper or a guy that you can find off waivers right now, literally, to fit for one of the big three that aren't playing. Remember, Travis Kelce didn't play. Mark Andrews is out. And my man, Darren Waller, looks like he's going to be out. So go grab somebody. If you can, he's one of those people I would get. As far as Denver goes, I'm scared because this is going to be a game where Samaje Perine might have to be the bell cow. And as you said, you only trust Cortland Sutton. Me too. Me too. Jerry Jeudy might play, but it's a chance that he might not. And that's not good for Russell. And we'll see. And any other things. Now, Will Lutz is the kicker in Denver now. He's been a great kicker indoors. Now he's got that mile-high air behind him. And Carlson is the kicker for the Raiders. Always been a good kicker anyway. That's where you're going to see this game go to the kicking game. Okay. I'd play those kickers.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Chargers. This is another must-see TV. I think this is going to be fireworks on both sides. Fireworks. To what's going to his wide receivers, Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and Justin Herbert throwing to Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I named those players, and I'm going to name a kicker too, which I don't often do. This Cameron Dicker is a very good kicker on a very good offense that's going to get him opportunities to kick field goals and quite naturally extra points. So my choice is this: Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Cameron Dicker on the LA side. On the Tua side is Tua, Devon A-Chain, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle. Talk to me, Mr. FSP.
So, I guess I'm the tight end guy. I like Everett in this game. You're gonna see, of course, your boy Williams maybe stay healthy for half the game, and then you'll see. Oh my God, I forgot the other guy on the opposite side of Williams.
Quentin Johnson.
No. Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Keenan Allen do their thing, right? But Miami is just too much speed, man. Too much speed, in my opinion. I think Morris is going to
Mustard.
Mostert. Thank you. Mostert is going to have a time running the ball. But the tight ends in both these teams should see some love. I really think so. Um, Gesicki is gone. He went to New England, and you've got a I'm not gonna say a better version of Gesicki now, but you got a player that can move the chains and be an end zone, red zone threat. So watch out for both tight ends.
Okay. All right. Just speaking of those tight ends, as you mentioned, Philadelphia Eagles at the New England Patriots. No Mac Jones, Ramondre Stevenson at your own peril. If he's just coming off the flu, how strong is he to have a full workload? Quite naturally, you didn't think he was going to have full workload anyway with Zeke. But I would play Ramondre Stevenson as a running back 3, maybe in a flex, not a running back 2. You don't know what's going to happen. Um, Juju Smith-Schuster is supposed to be their main target. Come on, man. Really? That's why Kansas City got rid of him. Didn't let him come back. Come on. Uh, Good luck with Juju Smith-Schuster. Never thought too much of him. Thought he was the number 2 wide receiver. He's proved me right. I think they're going to try to make him a number 1. He's not a number 1. On the other side, Kenneth Gainwell, in my opinion, is a better option than DeAndre Swift. I just, for whatever reason, I got an affinity for Kenneth Gainwell. If I was to pick a running back from Philly, he's a dual purpose back. He can catch the football out of the backfield and plus run it. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. Talk to me, Mr. FSP.
Zeke, look out for Zeke. If there's going to be a replacement for Ramondre, Zeke is that guy. I don't see Gesicki, seeing as though I said Gesicki before, being a threat in this game, but you never know. If they want to get Macaroni Tony or Mac involved, they might want to do it with the tight end, and he's an opportunity to do that. As far as Philly goes, look, man, you got a lot of weapons and a lot of opportunity, but a stingy defense they're going up against. So I expect a heavy dose of the run, like you said, Gainwell, Swift, and any other running backs that they have to do well. Um, I don't expect Jalen Hurts to throw over 300 yards. I really don't. But we'll see what happens. Uh, you got Brown and you got Smith, but I really like the Dallas Goedert call because I think he's going to eat the most for them. But don't expect too many fireworks in this game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, somewhere like a 17-10, 17-13 type game.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. I love Geno. He's playing at home. It's a home opener. Seattle. I love Geno in this game against a not so good Rams defense. They never. Let me put it this way: they were at one point, but now it's they're a not what they used to be. Let me put it that way. I like Kenneth Walker in here, sprinkled with a Zach Charbonnet, um, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Matthew Stafford. No, Cam Akers. Don't believe in Cam Akers. Never have, never will. I know people have been pumping up Cam Akers. I still say he ain't what he used to be before the Achilles. I know it's been over a year and a half or whatever. Most running backs don't get over that. Most running backs do not get over that. I don't think too much of Cam Akers. Van Jefferson and Puka Nakua and Tyler Higbee are the options for Matthew Stafford. More Jefferson and Tyler Higbee. Mr. FSP.
I've got Tutu Atwell. Tutu Atwell is going to be that dude that they use to get the ball down the field. He's going to stretch defenses. Now, is it any big secret that the Rams are going to suck this year? No. Um, I'm not looking at anything on this team for any reason to play. But if you got to play somebody to for big plays, Tutu Atwell is not a bad flex option or number three receiver option. Um, I forgot who they're playing that quick. Good God Almighty,
They're playing
Seattle.
Rams. They're playing the Rams.
Yeah. The Rams are playing Seattle. That's what I said. Tutu Atwell is for the Rams. But for Seattle, I know you said Jackson and Jigba might not get a lot of burn. I disagree with you. I think he's gonna get a lot of burn, and will he have a huge impact? I'm not sure, but I expect DK Metcalf to go for $150 in this game. I really do. $150.
And
That's what,
the thing about it, people earlier in the summer were had negative remarks about DK Metcalf not being too much of a factor. I didn't never understood that.
I
Um,
never said that.
yeah,
I never said that.
I know you never said that, but I'm saying on different sites that the
Oh,
downplaying DK Metcalf. What?
well,
That,
the reason why is because they don't believe Gino's going to maintain. They believe Gino's going to regress, as
okay,
I did during the summer. I changed my thought process over the preseason, but yeah, they think he's going to regress.
okay,
That's why they looked at DK's numbers not reclining, but declining, as well as Lockett. And when they draft in Jigba with their first overall pick in the first round, not first overall pick, but their first round pick, that speaks volumes to what Lockett is going to do. Because Pete is not moving away from the run first team.
no, I know that. I know that.
So DK's not going nowhere. It's going to be Lockett.
Yeah.
And Gino's not going to be throwing the ball like 30 times a game, but he's going to make the best out of what he does have. So,
Okay, let's move on to the next game. This is the Dallas Cowboys, um, and the New York Football Giants. And I'm trying to find out because it's that time. I'm trying to find out. Let me look. Let me look. I'm still looking here, people.
well, the New York Giants game, they're not going to have any ins and outs until like an hour before the game, bro.
Well, I'm looking at inactives right now. Darren Waller is upgraded to limited work Friday and is questionable and is expected to play. Okay. Okay. Well, because that makes a difference in what I'm talking about here. Saquon Barkley is the only, and I'll say that again, is the only option. I can't trust Darren Waller. He just got upgraded on Friday, questionable and expected to play. Hamstring. And let me put it this way. If you have the word hamstring, you should have the name Darren Waller next to it because he's Mr. Hamstring. He's Mr. Hamstring. Okay? He's Mr. Hamstring. So uh be cautious. Be cautious. If you have a better option or if you have a good option, okay, Jawan Johnson. I'd be more comfortable in putting a Jawan Johnson or maybe a Greg Dulcich into my lineup than a questionable Darren Waller. Okay. On the other side, you play Dak, Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, and even, you know, just because Dalton Schultz left doesn't mean they don't like throwing to the tight end. Jake Ferguson. When he was in, he was effective. When he played, he was effective. So what's going to change? The name and face may change, but not the title or not the opportunities in the tight end position. Mr. FSP, talk to me.
I like Ferguson. That's somebody that has not been mentioned a lot. He's actually going undrafted
Yep,
or really late in drafts
that's right.
because of the three-headed monster at wide receiver in Cooks, Gallup, and Lamb, and Tony Pollard in the backfield. But another guy I want y'all to look out for, and I said it when he was drafted, Deuce. Deuce Vaughn. That little guy, he is diminutive, but he's bringing the pain and he's going to get an opportunity. Soon as there's an issue with Tony Pollard's leg. Now, another guy y'all need to look out for, and I'm telling you, put him on your radar. Ronald Jones. Put him on your radar. He's suspended for a couple weeks,
Oh God!
but I'd put him on my radar if I were you, because he's going to be their power back. The Cowboys, that is. On the other side, you know what? I'm gonna roll the dice with Mr. Waller. I'm gonna roll the dice.
Okay.
The reason why is because it's week 1, right? And I already had a couple disappointments on a few of my teams. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, and it doesn't hurt. It won't hurt me that much more if I roll the dice with Darren Waller this week, just to see what happens. So, a guy that you got to look out for, and you probably haven't even thought about, is Darius Slayton. Now, there is a cover 3 defense in Dallas. They're going to bring Michael Parsons off the edge, so on and so forth. But Darius Slayton has become a very good receiving threat. A rookie in Jalen Hyatt. Look out for Jalen Hyatt. Just telling you, my brother from Tennessee, he's a good play. If you need a wide receiver.
Okay. Let's go to the last game. The last game is Monday night game. Buffalo at the Jets. Play Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin. Yeah, Tyler Conklin. Aaron likes throwing to the tight end. And Tyler Conklin is an athletic, not very, but he's an athletic tight end. He should get some play in this game. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Kincaid, and even a kicker in this, Tyler Bass. You got a high-powered offense that may not be able to get into the end zone, but get into scoring position. Tyler Bass is a good option in this game. I'm up in the air about James Cook. I don't know how much he's going to be used and how effectively he's going to be. He's not a big running back, so they may have a timeshare in Damian Harris and James Cook and Damian Harris, which may negate each other. Mr. FSP, talk to me.
In this game, the big names, Garrett Wilson, obviously is a play. I say play Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin's going to outtouch Breece Hall.
Yep.
I really do. They didn't go out and get him just to be a compliment to a guy coming off of ACL. So we'll see. He might be a 1 or 2 year rental until Breece Hall gets back, but he's the current. And we know how Aaron likes to throw screens. Cook is very adept to catching the screen and taking it all the way.
Okay.
On the other side, remember I told you guys, and I just made a trade for this guy, and I got greedy, but it's okay. It's okay. I do not think that Stephon Diggs is going to have a good game. I don't. I think Sauce Gardner and company are going to do their thing versus Diggs. That means Gabe and Knox and Kincaid need to step up. Also, Cooks needs the other Cook, the younger brother Cook, needs to step up. Or Josh Allen's is going to be running. He's going to be running. That's good for fantasy owners such as myself that own Josh Allen, but bad in the sense that he's not going to have a dependable receiver. Here's what I'm going to equate it to. You know how it was hard for Pat Mahomes to complete a pass Thursday night? If they lock up Stephon Diggs, it's going to be that much harder for Josh Allen to complete a pass than anybody else.
Okay. All right, people. I gave you
Odell is active. Marquise Brown active. Mark Andrews is out. and
Yeah.
George Kittle is active.
Okay, people. We come to the end of the show. I gave you one running back that I think you should grab off the waiver wire. I'm going to give you two wide receivers. I'm going to give you two wide receivers that you should grab off the waiver wire and stash them on your bench because they're in a high prolific offense. One was targeted 5 times with 3 catches for 29 yards and a touchdown. Another one was targeted 4 times, 2 catches for 45 yards on the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, the rookie. And Andy, let me put it this way. Andy Reid doesn't usually play or get a lot of time for rookie wide receivers, a.k.a. Sky Moore. Okay? Right? Rashee Rice got 5 targets. He was tied with Kadarius Toney with targets. He caught 3 of those, and 1 for a touchdown. Justin Watson was targeted 4 times, caught 2 of those for 45 yards. Just think about that. They need pass catchers besides Travis Kelce. Is there something going to happen? Is Kadarius Toney going to get knocked off the top of the list? Or is a rookie or a second-year player going to usurp Kadarius Toney? Grab one of these guys and put him on your bench. That's all I got to say. And I was surprised that Rice, who's a rookie wide receiver, knowing Andy Reid's history, was targeted so much.
Well,
and produced with a touchdown.
But Jerry, on that, I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to say he wasn't the first option on any of those targets.
That's fine.
So that's a Pat decision. He was in the lineup. Yes, I agree. He's in the lineup, but he was not the main target on his receptions. So.
Even though he wasn't the main target, he got 5 targets. Okay, 5. He tied for the most targets of any receiver on the team, and he's a rookie. So Pat definitely looked for him 5 times. 5 times. He had Kadarius Toney, who's in quotation marks, a veteran. He only caught 1 pass for 1 yard. 5 times he was targeted. Compared to a rookie who was targeted 5 times, caught 3 passes and 1 for a touchdown. Who do you think Pat's going to look for? He looked for him 5 times. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You put him on the bench, you grab him. That's what I'm saying. It's Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes thought that much of him 5 times. As much as they thought of their number 1 wide receiver. And the number 1 wide receiver let him down. Rashee Rice did not do that. That's what I'm saying. And he's got to move up the food chain in the wide receivers. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, get ahead of the curve, people. Either you grab Justin Watson or Rashee Rice. With that being said, Mr. FSP, I appreciate you joining me. It was a very good show, and we got to get out of here and enjoy what's going to happen this weekend, or be happy or disappointment. Go San Francisco. That's all I got to say.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. I can't wait for you to dance.
I have a friend for 14 years that's always betting against me. Always betting against.
I'm your friend though. I'm your friend.
Well, let me put it this way. My arm is about 36 inches long. I keep that friend at a distance because of fact he's always betting against me. Friends don't bet against friends. Okay.
Yes, they do. They don't let them drive drunk though.
Let me put it this way. Serious note here. Serious note. I had a friend. We used to go to a racetrack all the time. And he used to always ask me, who do I like? And whatever horse I liked, he went the opposite way. He went the opposite way. And uh, 9 times out of 10, he lost. I'm just
Well,
saying.
this is that 1 out of 10.
Yeah, okay. 9 times out of 10, he lost.
And,
And
hold
I'm
on.
saying, why are you always betting against me?
I've won. Well, we probably like 50-50 actually.
Okay.
I've won half and you've won half. So I would say we're 50-50.
Okay.
I mean, you're the one that always say, is that a Benjamin? Is that a Benji? That's you. So so you initiate the bets. Let's get that straight, buddy.
Don't say that. I don't.
This we got our Jaguar bet. We got our Ravens and Lions bet.
What Jaguar bet?
Okay. What's our two bets, Jaguar bet? What's our two bets, Jerry? What are our two bets?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, I do know, and you know.
No, I don't know. You tell me. I know we have one. I'm not sure about the second one. You tell me.
I'm not going to do it on air. What I'll do is
wait a minute. Whoa.
I will let you.
What happened to full transparency, Mr. FSPTU?
That's on my show, not on your show. Apparently, you give people what you want to give them on your show, and then do something different. But I'm going to give you time to think about the other bet. I'm gonna give you time.
I don't look. You can give me all the time in the world.
I said Jacksonville was going to win a division again. You said no, they're not.
I said Jacksonville's not going to win.
Yes, okay. You said they were not going to win the division.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's 100 there and 100 on the, and you gave me 7 points on the Lions and Baltimore game. So the Lions are the underdog, but you gave me 7 points anyway.
Okay.
So just remember that. So I want my 100 on both.
Stop.
On both. I'm just saying.
You want your 100. Stop. That sounds like
that's 200. That's 200. That's why I didn't want to do it on the show.
That sounds like I welch on a bet. I don't, and you know that. Stop.
Well, that's why I said I wasn't going to do it on the show.
Okay. Anyway, people, it's been real. Enjoy the week. Good luck in your fantasy. Hopefully we gave you some insight. Hopefully we helped you. And I'm looking forward in a hour and 12 minutes to start the game. See ya.